I lived in Portland in Dorset for nearly 18 years, and obviously came down to see my parents because this is my family home. And about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1989, I had a phone call to say my mother had been taken into hospital here in Penzance. So I packed in a bag and hold all, and my daughter drove me into Weymouth, and I came home. I never actually saw my home in Weymouth again for nearly 2 years. My mother was given 6 weeks to live. I wanted her to be brought here, I wanted her at home, and she actually lasted nearly 2 years. My mum's name was Edna Tunmore, and Dad was, well, William, but Bill, he's always known as Billy. And he worked at the Queen's for many years, so he was often known as Billy at the Queen's. For my mum, we had a bed here for her, and she didn't want me out of her sight. So we thought it was going to be just a matter of weeks, so I slept in a chair. But when we realised that things were going on and that she hadn't seemed to deteriorate any longer, I bought a little picture-up bed, and I slept here by her. Never left her, and it was very difficult shopping because she really didn't let me out of her sight. Run to the shops, I would go all the back lanes I could find because they were well known, and people would stop and ask me how they were, and I couldn't spare the time to talk to them. They did offer respite care, but she was too frail to be moved, and the doctor said to me, well, I don't want her moved really, and I didn't want her to go. So she passed away here in my arms. Unfortunately, after 12 months, Dad started deteriorating and had a series of strokes, and I was right in the caring role again. He had a bed down here. I didn't need to sleep here with him. He was quite all right at night. I could go back upstairs. But as time went on, he gradually got worse. I had a hoist brought in. The furniture had to be moved out again. There was a big special chair here where I'm sitting now. He was in the bed. He managed to get across here. First of all, I could walk him across, but as time went on, it was a hoist. So I had a hoist in this room, and a wheelchair, and a commode. So you can imagine, it's a small room, you can imagine what it was like. And I'd be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning if he had an accident. I couldn't leave him like that to the care. I had carer came in, we had to have two-handed carers. But I was the second one. I was with the main carer. I couldn't leave him in a state till the carer came, so I'd be down very often in the middle of the night with him in the hoist, changing the bed, probably crying because I was so tired, and he was very upset. His dignity gone. I had given up my job to come down to look after them, and I did get carer's allowance, but I must say at that time when I started caring, I was left completely on my own because there weren't, at that time, any care support workers. And then during the time when I was caring for Dad, CRCC started with a care support worker, and that was my lifeline.